Common belief suggests you recharge like a battery during sleep. In reality, deep sleep promotes synaptic pruning in your brain. Synaptic pruning is the selective removal of synapses, which was measured by the University of Wisconsin using EEG and electron microscopy. Every night, billions of synaptic connections are either strengthened or weakened. This process ensures that your brain doesn't become overwhelmed with redundant information. Far from a mere recharge, sleep is about refinement. When synaptic pruning is disrupted by sleep deprivation, cognitive functions like learning and memory suffer. Understanding this daily architectural overhaul transforms how we view sleep's purpose. Contrary to the belief that sleep is passive, your brain actively engages in neurochemical recalibration. During sleep, adenosine, the molecule responsible for building up sleep pressure, is cleared. Researchers at Harvard found that adenosine levels drop as much as 20% during non-REM sleep. This clearance resets your wakefulness drive for the next day. Without this nightly reset, fatigue accumulates, making the cognitive load heavier. Sleep deprivation leaves you with elevated adenosine, reducing your ability to focus and react. By understanding adenosine kinetics, we challenge the idea of sleep as mere rest. Many think sleep loss only affects your mood, but at the cellular level, it hinders energy metabolism. Mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, become less efficient when you're sleep-deprived. A study from 2021 showed that sleep deprivation decreases ATP production by up to 30% in animal models. This drop compromises cellular energy balance, affecting not just your brain, but every tissue. With impaired mitochondrial function, your neurons struggle to process and transmit information. Realizing this impact on energy metabolism reframes how we perceive sleep's necessity. It's a myth that sleep deprivation only affects cognitive tasks. Your emotional regulation also takes a hit. Sleep loss amplifies activity in the amygdala by 60%, as shown in functional MRI studies from the University of California, Berkeley. This hyperresponsivity leads to heightened emotional reactions and reduced impulse control. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for judgment and decision-making, loses its regulatory grip. This imbalance between the amygdala and prefrontal cortex challenges the notion that being tired only means being sleepy. Emotional volatility emerges as a direct consequence of sleep debt. The myth that sleep deprivation is a temporary inconvenience is deceptive. Chronic lack of sleep alters genetic expression. A 2013 UK study revealed that just 1 week of sleep restriction affected over 700 genes. These genes are involved in stress response, immune function, and metabolism. The altered expression can lead to long-term health detriments. This genetic upheaval underlines the seriousness of consistent sleep deprivation, contradicting the idea that you can simply catch up later. Understanding the genetic impact reminds us that sleep is not just a nightly ritual, but a fundamental biological process. Adenosine, a byproduct of ATP breakdown, accumulates during wakefulness. In the basal forebrain, this buildup acts as a signal for sleep onset. The detailed kinetics of adenosine were illuminated by studies using microdialysis. As adenosine levels rise, they bind to specific receptors, inhibiting arousal-promoting neurons. During sleep, the glymphatic system activates to clear adenosine from the brain. This clearance is facilitated by the aquaporin 4 channels on astrocytes. The reduction in adenosine resets your sleep pressure. Without this process, your brain remains trapped in a state of heightened arousal. Your brain's waste clearance system, the glymphatic system, ramps up during sleep. This system relies on cerebrospinal fluid to flush out neurotoxic waste. In deep sleep, the interstitial space between neurons expands by 60%, as shown in rodent studies from the University of Rochester. This expansion allows for more efficient waste removal, including amyloid beta, a protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. Sleep deprivation impairs this clearance, leading to toxin buildup. Understanding glymphatic clearance highlights the crucial role of sleep in maintaining brain health on a cellular level. Circadian oscillator genes orchestrate your body's 24-hour rhythms. These genes, like clock and BMAL1, regulate everything from hormone release to body temperature. Inside your suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, they maintain the timing of sleep and wakefulness. A 2017 study demonstrated that sleep deprivation can desynchronize these genes by altering their expression. Disruption in circadian gene expression affects not only sleep patterns, but also mood and metabolic processes. By understanding the genetic control of circadian rhythms, we see how sleep loss ripples through various systems. Cortisol, the stress hormone, follows a diurnal cycle. Its awakening response peaks in the first 30 minutes after waking. This surge is critical for alertness and energy mobilization. Research from Germany in 2010 showed that sleep deprivation blunts this response, reducing cortisol levels by up to 50%. This reduction impacts your ability to handle stress and maintain energy throughout the day. Without the cortisol peak, your body struggles to transition from sleep to wakefulness. Understanding this hormonal cycle underscores the importance of sleep for hormonal balance. REM sleep, the stage associated with dreaming, plays a key role in memory consolidation. During this stage, the hippocampus communicates with the neocortex to transfer information from short-term to long-term memory. Studies using polysomnography and EEG have shown that sleep deprivation impairs this transfer process. Specifically, the absence of REM sleep disrupts procedural memory, affecting tasks that require skill learning. This mechanism involves synaptic reinforcement and neural plasticity. Without sufficient REM sleep, your ability to learn and retain new information diminishes. Chronic sleep debt and acute deprivation affect your brain differently. Acute deprivation, like pulling an all-nighter, results in immediate cognitive deficits. Chronic sleep debt, however, leads to cumulative damage. A study published in 2019 using cognitive performance tests showed that people with chronic sleep debt perform as poorly as those who haven't slept for 2 nights. This is due to persistent neurochemical imbalances and structural brain changes. While acute deprivation is a short-term shock, chronic debt alters brain physiology, affecting everything from memory to emotional stability. Understanding these differences is critical for assessing sleep's long-term impact. Sleep tracking apps often promise insights into your sleep patterns. However, their accuracy pales compared to polysomnography, the gold standard for sleep measurement. Polysomnography records brain waves, oxygen levels, and heart rate. In contrast, wrist-worn trackers infer sleep stages using movement and heart rate variability. A 2022 meta-analysis found that commercial sleep trackers misclassified sleep stages about 30% of the time. This discrepancy highlights the limitations of consumer technology in capturing the full picture of sleep architecture. Understanding the precision of polysomnography reshapes our view of sleep measurement. The wellness industry often champions sleep supplements and gadgets. Yet, peer-reviewed literature frequently contradicts these claims. Melatonin supplements, for instance, are effective for circadian rhythm disorders, but a 2020 review found minimal impact on general insomnia. Similarly, blue light blocking glasses, often marketed to improve sleep, showed limited efficacy in controlled trials from the Sleep Research Society. This gap between marketed solutions and scientific evidence underscores the need for informed choices. Recognizing these discrepancies helps us navigate the haze of sleep improvement products. Sleep deprivation is often framed as an individual issue, but it has societal implications. A Rand Corporation study in 2016 estimated that sleep deprivation costs the U.S. economy up to $411 billion annually. This staggering figure includes lost productivity, healthcare expenses, and accidents. The lack of sleep in the workforce leads to decreased attention and increased error rates. As sleep deprivation becomes widespread, understanding its economic impact pushes us to reconsider societal norms around work and rest. The societal cost of sleep loss reveals the broader consequences beyond individual health. Long-term sleep deprivation reshapes your brain's structure. Studies using MRI have shown decreased gray matter volume in areas like the prefrontal cortex. A 2018 study with over 1,000 participants linked sleep loss to reduced hippocampal volume, crucial for memory formation. These structural changes potentially lead to cognitive decline. Far from temporary, the effects of prolonged deprivation can persist long after sleep patterns normalize. This research reframes sleep deprivation as more than a temporary inconvenience. It's a catalyst for lasting neural changes, emphasizing the need to prioritize sleep.